Hello,
Hi.
shalom, everyone.
Good morning, folks. Welcome back to another episode live from Jerusalem to our wonderful friends of Europe and beyond with inspiring thoughts from the Bible, live from Jerusalem with Rabbi Chaim Goldberg. And we so appreciate how much he's been sharing with us in the book of Genesis, and especially this special season after Rosh Hashanah with Yom Kippur coming up. We're joined by Renat and Madison, his family in Lithuania. Vilnius, Lithuania, and Rabbi Chaim in Jerusalem. Rabbi Chaim, how are you doing today? So good to see you.
Fine, thank you. I'm doing fine. Hi, everybody. I'm from Lithuania, from Canada, and soon maybe more people will join us. Moses, last time I saw that Moses asked you a few questions. If he's from Brazil, so we need then I saw who it is. Renat, everything is okay by you also?
Yeah,
Renat?
perfect.
Excellent. Yes, fine. So how was Rosh Hashanah for all of you? Please tell me a few words. Matas Renat, I saw that you went to the shul, to the synagogue of the Jewish community there.
Yes, we've been there. It was some kind of interesting happening. We came to shul. Yitzhak was sleeping at a car. I was listening to the rabbi, and when the rabbi was getting ready to blow shofar, Imanta called me that Yitzhak got up, and I have to come and take them. So I left shul, and I didn't hear shofar. I was a bit upset, but when we came back to shul, one elder Jewish man came to shul, and Rabbi came straight. He was standing near to us, and the Rabbi came to him and gave him bracha list. He called the bracha, and we heard the shofar straight near our ears. So it was very interesting. Shofar was like for how do you say that? Like personal shofar.
Okay, fair enough. So I will tell you, first of all, very nice. It's good that and Daniel also welcome to join us. Hi, Daniel.
Hey, Daniel.
Good to see you from Bogota, right?
Bogota, Colombia, South America.
Wow.
Yes.
It's the other side of the world, you know. Well, after you, we're going a bit and we're falling down, right? This is more or less what's happening there. The end of the world. So you said very nice with the shofar. It's amazing. Let me first of all tell you that you took me backwards something like 15 years ago and 20 years ago. Always in the Hebrew communities, we have this problem of the young kids who are not giving us the opportunity to listen to the blowing of the shofar. And then what we're doing, we are all the time skipping. So with the community, the husband or the wife is listening, and then we're blowing the shofar again for the husband or the wife. So you got a special, unique shofar blowing, and it's excellent. It's good. It's not less than anything else. It's perfect. Very good. And fair enough. Renat, how was your Rosh Hashanah?
Oh, it was perfect. So we spent it together with Matas and Aimanti. So we went to shul. We listened to the service, and then there was a table with food. So people chatted. Then we met, if you remember, Yolita.
Hey, she came also?
Yes.
I can't believe you.
Yeah,
Yolita was there also?
Yeah.
She's a bit, she's not a Noachide.
Not yet, but she was there, and she
Yes,
told
very
that
nice.
she has been attending the major holidays in the show.
Very
So
nice.
Matteson even invited her to celebrate Shabbos already. We as a bigger community.
Oh,
So it looks
very
like soon we will make it.
Very nice. Timothy, hi. Good to see you, Timothy. He can't hear us. Hi. He can't
Hi,
hear us.
Timothy.
He's not with us.
He's there. He's got to turn his microphone on.
I remembered one more thing. Me and Renat wanted to go to cemetery to visit grave of Vilna Gaon, as it used before Rosh Hashanah. You visit graves of big tzaddikim, but we were on the first day of Rosh Hashanah, so it was closed. So we're managing to go another day to attend, not attend, to visit Vilna Gaon, but as well we were in the lake. It was a bit close as something like mikveh. Renat didn't take it, but for me it was something nice.
Very good. Timothy, hi, good to see you. Can you hear us now, Timothy?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly. Thank you.
How are you doing? Everything is okay?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I'm out helping Dad actually. Out in the country.
Where are you?
It's near New Glasgow. It's 2 hours from Halifax.
Beautiful country, yeah.
Very nice. Yeah. So Canada is huge, it's really big. It's not like Bogota. Bogota is a small, tiny, bitty place if you compare it to Canada. Also Israel. Feel comfortable.
Yes. I mean, compared to any country in the world, it would be like a tiny place, but as a city, it's a pretty big one. It's huge, I would say.
Oh yeah, Bogota's. How many people in Bogota, Daniel?
Around 10 million people.
Oh, more than Israel. More than Israel. Okay, someone else wants to share with us. Dan, you did something unique on Rosh Hashanah. Daniel, Timothy, something. Or everything was smoothly, as usual.
Yeah.
Well, oh, sorry.
Oh no, go ahead. Sorry.
No,
you
go.
Okay, so for there was like I had this like apple fritter sort of thing, and I just put some honey on it.
Very good.
Yeah, it was good. And also,
for the sweetness of the year, that the year will be sweet. It's excellent. Good blessing.
And then I wore. There was I went out for a meal with a good friend, and I dressed up. I wore black pants and white shirt and stuff like that.
Wow. Very nice.
But this was, I don't know which day this was. It was on Sunday or Monday or something like that. Yeah.
Okay, very nice. Fair enough. Very nice. We also trying the Hebrew Nation. We're wearing white clothings, and those who don't have white pants, there is a very interesting skirt, I would say, I'm also wearing it. It's a special, some sort of a long cover up that you're putting that is white and is a long one. Okay, fair enough. I want to speak today. We're not going to learn from the Bible as usual, but we're going to speak about Yom Kippur. Okay, the Yom Kippur, and also Yom Kippur. We're going to speak about Yom Kippur, and we're going to hopefully also to speak about Sukkot. Those are the two big holidays that we're going to have in Yom Kippur, another 2 days. And Sukkot is next Monday. Therefore, we won't have a lesson. And then we have the Monday after that, also the Simchat Torah, the end of the Sukkot. So we won't have lessons now for 2 weeks. Only in 3 weeks from now, we will manage to see each other again. So let's speak about Yom Kippur and then to speak about Sukkot. I'm reminding us all that we are speaking about 3 important levels for each thing that we are doing. One is the personal level, what I'm doing with me, with my wife, inside my family. The second one is the national level. And the third one is the universal level. We spoke about this. The example that is very clear in the Bible is the Saturday, Shabbat. On the Saturday, we say that there are 3 reasons for the Saturday. It's already written down in the 10 Commandments. One is because you need to rest. So this is a personal level. The second one is to remember that we were slaves when we were in Egypt. Now, to memorial that we went out from the slavery, we do taking one day that nobody is telling us to do something. We're deciding to ourselves that we are resting. We are not slaves for anything except for God. We are slaves of God only. So this is the national understanding of the Shabbat, Saturday. And the universal side is that God created the world in 6 days. In the seventh day, he rested, he sat down, he didn't do anything, as we spoke about it already a lot about this sixth and seventh day. And on the same thing, we are also resting in the seventh day to remind ourselves and to do some sort of a witness, a live witness, that we are like God, who worked for 6 days, and the seventh day he rested. And by this that we are resting, we are also declaring that we believe that God created this world. So, but this is something that is related to the universe, not only to the national level, or not for the personal level. And on the same level, we need to explain the Yom HaKippurim. Yom HaKippurim is the day of the forgiveness. So if we spoke that in Rosh Hashanah, what we are saying in Rosh Hashanah is that, what we are saying in Rosh Hashanah, that we are accepting upon ourselves that God, who created this universe, he is our God, and we saying that he is going to be our kingdom. On Yom Kippur, it's a different day. It's a very personal day from one side, where we are really doing what we call, it's called repeatness, Chazara B'tshuva. And this is something that the whole world don't really understand how the Hebrew nation is taking it. And I need to explain this a bit. And I'm speaking about the personal level. The first step is the personal level. There is a very big debate between the Hebrew nation and all of the sages of the world. If we want to define what is man, what is the uniqueness of the humanity, the sages of the world, they are saying that the uniqueness of humanity is the brain of man. Man can calculate things. Man can think one step ahead. The animals can't really think one step ahead. This is why it's very easy for us to capture them. They can't see the one step ahead. Men can see one step ahead. Men can think, men can do calculations, men can speak. The understanding of the mind with men, this is a difference. This is what the sages of the world are saying. This is a difference between men and the animals. Therefore, if you will ask an animal, why are you eating? The answer of the animal will say, this is very natural for me. This is how I live. When I'm feeling hungry, I'm eating. Ask the lion, why are you eating this miserable animal? And he will tell you, no, this is how I'm living. It's not something that they are thinking about. The difference is that the person, every human, can think about what he is doing. When he is thinking, he is connecting his actions with his thoughts, and then this is a unique thing. So let's say, for example, if someone is doing something good, and he wanted to do something good, so he is doing it with all of his intention, with all of his wish, with all of his thoughts, almost not wish, with all of his thoughts, and it's connected, it's combined, it's going together. And if he is doing something bad, and he wants to do something bad, he is aiming, he is thinking to do something bad, so he needs to be punished because he wanted to do something bad. But what will happen if someone is doing something bad while he had a very good intention in his mind? He wanted to do something good, but it's bad for others, or it's bad something bad went out from him. So then what we're going to say? We're going to say it was an accident. It wasn't on purpose. It wasn't that he wanted to do something bad. Now, let's say that someone did something good. Someone did something bad and he wanted to do something bad. And after a few days, he is regretting it. Now, in his mind, he wants to do something good, but he already did something bad. So we can say, on this logic, we can say that the bad things that he did was coincidence. It wasn't with his intention. When he did it 2 days ago, 3 days ago, a month ago, he wanted to do something bad. But now that he's regretting it and he wants to do only good, so we can say that the thing that he did are like someone who his intention is to do something good, but he did something bad. This is the maximum level that the sages of the world can understand what is repeatedness. And still we have a lot of questions, and mainly the main question that we have is, for example, if someone, God forbid, killed someone else, and now he had intention, he really did all the calculations how to kill him and everything else, and now he is regretting it. So it's good that he's regretting it, but the man is already dead, so he can't bring him back alive. So this is the main question that the sages of the world have with this question of repeatedness. And this is where we find the Christian world that is saying that we need all sorts of miracles to regret and to do repeatedness, because you can't go back with the time to do really repeatedness and redemption with yourself. You need some sort of forgiveness from God. The Hebrew nation is saying two different things in two different levels. One, on this level, I will stay in a moment on this level, and then we'll skip to another level. On this level, the Hebrew nation is saying that we need to do a very big separation between the actions and between the intention. And the most important side is the intention of my mind. I will say it like that. And this is the main part, because God, and we said this already a few times, God, I will take something that we've learned and it will be easier for us to understand. Let me ask a question. Did God wanted that Abel will be killed? What do you say?
He made it possible.
Sorry?
He made it possible.
I'm asking not only if he made it possible. I have a very hard question. Did God wanted that Abel will be killed without kids? Without having kids?
But if he didn't want to, then Cain would not be able to kill Abel.
Oh, very nice. So what you're saying to me, that God wanted Abel to be killed. But the question is, who is his messenger? Because God have a lot of messengers. He can send a snake. He can send a lion. He can send an accident. Okay? When Cain took upon his shoulders for himself to say, I will do God's will, Cain always is putting also some of his own intention inside. And this is the main question that happened there. So when Cain is deciding to regret all of his thoughts and to do repeatedness, God is taking the action and for himself, because he wanted this action, and then he can forgive Cain for what he did. So we've learned that Cain, destiny and everything else is going to the murder area, and this is why you can say retroactively that also Cain is a murderer and not only just by accident killed him. But this definition is something that the Hebrew nation is saying. There is always what God wants in this world, and there's also who is doing it. But the Hebrew nation is going one more level up than just the sages of the world. Along history, we can see it in Rabbi Yehuda Halevi, we can see it with the Rambam, Maimonides, we can see it with books before that, Rabbeinu Saadia Gaon, we can see it with books after that also. The Hebrew nation is never defining man as someone who can think more clearly and more precisely than the animals. The uniqueness of men is the ability to have will and to decide what to do, and to decide between good and bad, and also to decide the starting point of himself. I'm accepting upon myself that there is God. I'm not. This is something that nobody can force anyone else. And it's bringing, and what God I'm accepting upon myself is the God of who created this world, because he wanted, his will was this God to create this world. And when we understand that the main uniqueness of human is the issue of, or is the part of the will, and then also he can get connected with the will of God, this is something much, I will say, profound understanding that my actions are connected to my will. I want something. I want to do something good. Not only what I'm thinking, also what I want, what my desire inside desire. I want to do something good. And I'm doing something good. Excellent. If I want to do something bad, and I'm doing something bad, this is what I want to do. So I'm very close, I'm very far from God. But when I'm doing repeatedness, and I'm saying to myself, but now my will, I want to change my will. And the word will in English is also the word wheel of the car. Okay, I want to change my will to the other direction. I want to change it to good. Then, now we all know this story. The story about Moses and his brothers. They threw him. They sent him to Egypt. To Egypt. They sold him.
Joseph.
Joseph. They sat down and they ate at the time that he was crying inside the burial where they put him in the beginning, and then they sold him to Egypt, and for 20 years they never saw him. What exactly is he saying to them at the end of the day? You know what? I must show this. Just a moment. I'm showing this. I need to share the screen. You need to see this.
Please do, Rabbi.
Yes, you need to see this because come on, never mind. Let's see there. You need to see those sentences, because those are amazing sentences that if you read them and you're starting to understand how exactly the Hebrew nation understand the complexity of this world with my actions and with my will, not only my mind, my will. And when I know that I'm changing my will to good, then I will find that God is doing a separation, a deep separation between me and the bad, I will say, the bad results of my actions. And he is giving me only the good results of my actions, even though until I did this repeatedness, God is taking also my bad results and putting it on me. Now God is taking it upon himself. Let's see it for a moment inside the verses. Just a moment. No. Chapter 1 before that. Out. Look exactly what's happening. When Joseph, okay, he could not bear all those standing beside him, and he asked everybody to go out, and he cried, and he wept out loud. And then he says to him, I'm Joseph. My father is still alive. And his brothers were very afraid of him. And he says to them, I'm Joseph, you sent me to Egypt. Now, please, Dan, read verse number 5, 6, 7, and 8. Read them slowly.
But now do not be sad, and let it not trouble you that you sold me here, for it was to preserve life that God sent me before you. For already 2 years of famine have passed in the midst of the land, and for another 5 years there will be neither plowing nor harvest. And God sent me before you to make for you a remnant in the land, and to preserve it for you for a great deliverance. And now You did not send me here, but God, and he made me a father to Pharaoh, a lord over all his household, and a ruler over the entire land of Egypt.
I'm asking again, who exactly sent Joseph to Egypt?
God.
God, definitely God. Yeah.
Here, when can you say that God sent him to Egypt? Only after they regret everything and they're changing their will. Okay, then God is taking the bad action and saying to them, look, this bad action, I know how to put it to good because your intention now is good one. Because God created this world with his will. And if we understand that the uniqueness of man is his will, not his mind, his will. So when he's changing his will for good, he's getting closer to God, and God knows what to do in this world. So everything will be for the end of the days to the good side. So the bad actions are going away from you. The bad results of your actions are going away from you. And this is the deepness of the repeatness. Because we understand that the uniqueness of man is not his mind. Uniqueness of man is his will. And this is how God created this world also, with his will. And when you are getting close with your will for good, for God who is good and gave us this world, this is where you can change. You can change everything in your destiny and to put aside all the bad things, and God will turn them for good also. This is an amazing understanding of what is repeatness. Now,
Wow.
it's very profound, and I must say that in our tradition, and it's written down in a few books, also some of the books that is written down here, but not only here, in few books, that this is one of the differences between the Hebrew nation and all of the other nations. The other nations don't really believe that you can turn vices the bad actions that you did when you're really doing repeatness with your will. It's something unique for the Jewish nation. The Jewish nation understand, because we understand that the man, the uniqueness of the humanity is in his will. Therefore, and God is controlling everything here in this world, and he is using also the bad things and he's doing them for good. So when you're changing your will here in this world, if you're not after you die, you can't do anything. But if you're doing all those things here in this world, and you're managing to change your will for good, you're getting closer to God. You're getting very eye to eye to God, with God, very close, very connected with him. And he's taking the bad things and he's using them for good. And this is the real understanding of repeatness, where man can go to this high level. And this is the main point in the personal level of Yom HaKippurim. The opportunity to decide to change my will from bad to good and to decide to do only good deeds, only good things. And if I'm doing this, I'm managing to get close to God, and he will deal with all of the bad things that I did, with the bad reactions. Now, you can't say to yourself all the time, I will do bad things and then God will, and I will do repeatness. It's not working like that. You need to decide to become a good person, to do good things, and then God will take all the bad things that you did in all of your past and will turn them for good. And this is the personal level of Yom HaKippurim, of this thing that we call the Yom HaKippurim. This is the level of the personal side. Now let's go. If there is any questions, this is the time. If not, we will continue on with more understanding of the Yom Kippurim.
No, please go on, Rabbi. I'm nobody online. We've been having a good crowd online, and welcome everybody. But I don't have any deliberate questions off the line.
Excellent. So I'm stopping the sharing. How do I open? This is a big one. Just a moment. Let me find exactly how to do this. Oh, okay. Now it's okay. Now it's okay. Now I can see everybody. Okay, so we're continuing on. The next stage, I will say the national stage, for the Hebrew nation, and then also for the rest of the nations. This is the day where the holiest Kohen, the holiest priest, is going inside to the most holiest place, and also getting forgiveness for the nation, not only for his, before we continue, not only for his nation, for all of the nations. So each nation also, as a nation also, can ask. This is a very unique day. As a nation, you can ask to get forgiveness from God. This is because if you know a bit in the Bible, on this day, God is saying, we all know that when the Hebrew people went out from Egypt, I'm assuming that you know the Bible, okay? Sorry, but I will say what I mean. When the Jewish people went out from Egypt after the Ten Commandments and the Mount Sinai appearance and all of this, when Moses went down from the mountain after 40 days, they did the golden craft. We all know that they did the golden calf. And then for 2 months, Moses went up to heaven and asked from God, for not for 2 months, it was for 40 days and another 40 days, and asked from God forgiveness. Now, when was the day that God said to him, I'm forgiving I'm forgiving to the nation, to the Hebrew nation, and do for me the Mishkan, and let's continue on to go to Israel. It was in Yom Kippur. In Yom Kippur, it was the day that God did this forgiveness for the Hebrew nation. And since then, Yom Kippur is the day of the forgiveness for the Hebrew nation and for all of the nations. As a national side, is that there is also forgiveness for full nation. When I'm saying for full nation, I will take an example. Let's go, now I can say this from here, from Israel, it's okay. Let's go and, for example, and speak for a few minutes about the Russian country. Okay, as a country, there are things that they are doing that are very bad, very not unpleasant. I don't want to go inside all of the details and examples. We all know that. Let's be a bit of a little politically correct, and but the nation can decide to do repentance and to change their way of life, to do it in a better way. So this is the national level. There is also the universal level. We learned this already in Genesis, and I will remind you, we did it in chapter number 1. We did it, we learned this thing. I will remind this because we learned it, so it's good also to remember from time to time things that we spoke about. We said in the beginning of God's creation of the heavens and the earth, we learned those sentences. Also, you can find it also in my courses and everything else. So we ask ourselves, the first sentence is saying that God created heaven and earth. Now, if I will ask all of you, God is the Almighty, He is the perfect, and He is everything. Can you imagine to yourself that God will create something that is wrong, something that is not full, that something that is have a lot of emptiness and darkness and things like that? Of course not. But we see in the second, verse that the earth was astonishing empty, and darkness was on the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the water. So we see a very big break between the first sentence, the first verse, where God created everything perfectly, and the second verse, where we say that there is a lot of broken things. And what we explained, that to create, that God is creating something, this is bringing a very big difference, a very big gap between God, the creation, the creator, and the creation. And we know, we already explained that also logically. God is all the time giving life, and every creature is all the time receiving life. Then the will of God, who is giving, and the will of the creation of the human, as all the time receiving, not giving and receiving. This is so, with so much distance between them. So this is where the creation, as a creation, is asking to go back to God. This is the movement of the creation. If we will look today, okay, as if we will look in a broader way, we will see that there's a lot of things in the last in the last century that happened. For example, in the last century, we stopped with slavery. It's a very big gap for the world. Once, every dark person was a slave for others. In the last 150 years, in all sorts of ways, slavery is stopped. So it's good. So we moved ahead. You know, the creation moved ahead. Today we have a lot of food that can be spread around. If you will go to the supermarket, most of you in Bogota, you have 10 million people. But most of the people there can go to the supermarket, can work, go to the supermarket, and can find food to eat. So this is, you know, today we are in a very good stage of the world. But the world in the beginning is very far, very distant from God. And this is where the creation itself, all the creation wants to get back closer to God. And this is the circle of the universe. So we say today, on Yom Kippur, we have three circles. The circle of the personal, who can do repeatedness and get closer to God. The circle of the nations, that this is the day of the forgiveness. And the circle of the creation, who wants to get back close to God, who wants to go back and to be excellent, not to be astonishing and not to be an empty place, a darkness place, and all of those things. It wants to be with the place of the light. And God said, let's be a light. So this is I will say this is the Yom Kippur day. And if we can continue, if we have time and we don't have any questions, I will go one step ahead and we'll speak a bit about Sukkot. Okay, 5 days after Yom Kippur, we have Sukkot. It's a very stuffy month that we have. Every 2 days, you know. Now, yesterday and today, we had 2 days work in Israel. So one of the people in the radio station, I was on my way to work inside Jerusalem, and I've heard in one of the radio stations, one of the popular radio stations, and he's studying his words at 8 o'clock in the morning, and he's saying, "You won't believe it. It was Sunday morning, yesterday morning. You won't believe it. I'm really frustrated." So the other one said to him, "Why? What happened?" He said, "Now we have 2 days of work together, one after each other. I want a break after 1 day, because this is the month that we have every 2 or 3 days we have a holiday or something." So after Yom Kippur on Wednesday, we have 1 day work at Thursday. Then we have Friday before Shabbat. Then we have Sunday, and then Monday, it's a holiday of Sukkot. Then we have a week of holidays, and again, Saturday and Monday. So let's speak about Sukkot. Sukkot, there are 3 things, again, 3 levels. The personal level, the I will say, the national level, and the universal level. What are we doing in Sukkot? What is the main thing that we're doing in Sukkot? Do you know what we're doing in Sukkot? In the cold places, it's less known. It's also in Canada. I'm not sure that it's very known. Do you know what we're doing in Sukkot? You know what the Jewish people are doing in Sukkot? Do you know? If you don't know, I'll say it's okay. Daniel, what?
I'm not too sure.
Okay, Daniel?
Yes, and you build a sukkah outside your place, where you spend the holiday. That's like in the physical level. That's what happened.
Exactly. And what is this sukkah that we are building? Do you know what the sukkah is? I will tell you yes, Timothy.
Yeah, I heard that it's representing like in the wilderness or something like that.
You're going 2 steps ahead. First of all, physically, what is this sukkah? Physically, the sukkah is to build something that is not stable. First of all, you need to see the sky. You need to see the sky. You need to see the stars.
Temporary.
It's not very temporary. Very. It's not stable. Also, you can build it only with 2.5 walls. That's it. So it will be open. And we are showing for a week, for 8 days, that we are counting on something else. Now I will explain this. First of all, it's reminding me a story that I've heard from my grandfather. And you know that to build something, you need to have the authority of the municipality. So one of the Jews, it was a Sukkot time, and before Sukkot, he started to build the sukkah. And his neighbor, a non-Jewish person, was very angry. And he wanted to say to him, you know what, I'm going to ruin this sukkah. How am I going to do this? He went to the courts and he said they gave, and he asked from the courts, the municipality, that they will take down the sukkah. And he was very annoyed, the Jewish person. He said he didn't know what to do, but he got an invitation to go to the court. So he went in front of the judge. And then he saw that the judge is a Jewish person. He said to himself, oh, come on, now I really lost it, because the Jews are very hard for the Jews and everything else. So the Jewish person, it was a very smart judge, and he asked the Jewish person, what are you doing? He said, I did a sukkah. Okay, so now you have 8 days to take it down. Now Sukkot, it's only 8 days. So I said, oh, thank you very much. Okay, in 8 days I will take it down. So this is the understanding of Sukkah. We're going for 8 days. Oh, remember that 8 days always is reminding us the day of the Messiah. Remember, the world is 7 days, and the 8 days is the day of Messiah. For 8 days, we're showing that we are not, we don't have any nail, or anything that is capturing us to this world.
Permanent.
And we are anything permanent in this world, and we are in this world like the wind. Everybody is dying at the end, and therefore we are connected to God. This is the message, I will say, of going outside and saying to yourself, you are not trusting all the buildings that you're building, you're not trusting all the economic that you're organizing, because also those days in Israel is the days that you're gathering from the fields all of the things that happened that grew up in the last year. You're not trusting all of those things of your abilities in your hands. You're trusting God. You're going outside and you see that you, after all, only a human being that is sleeping in this world. And it's teaching us that in this world, each person, when he's going to sleep at night, there is a time. Usually we're going to sleep all the time with a cell phone in front of us and we're looking everything and everything else. But there is a time, after all, that we have a personal moment with ourselves. Usually when we go to sleep. When we go to sleep in the sukkah at night, believe me, from experience, for more than 50 years, you go to sleep, you see the stars up there, and you're saying to yourself, okay, now I'm getting the right preparation. Where am I in this world? It's not, that everything is okay, okay, God is here. I'm part of something that is temporary here. I'm not forever, not my hands and everything else did all of the things that I have to do in my life. This is the personal level of Sukkot. The national level is something very interesting. I will explain something that's happening in the Israel in the old days, and also it's happening today, but it's not on the same level because we don't have the Beit HaMikdash. We don't have the
temple.
The temple. We don't have the temple. It was for 8 days a very big, happy ceremony, like a wedding, with a lot of all sorts of tools of musics and a lot of performance. Today we also do it, but we don't have it in the temple. But it was with a lot of joy and happiness. And it's very important because if you think about this, on Rosh Hashanah, what we did, we stood in front of God and we were very serious because He is going to be our kingdom now, our king. We are accepting upon ourselves that He is a king. In Yom Kippur, we also with a lot of fear because I'm doing for all of the bad things. It's very negative. It's very negative feelings. It's very negative situation. Now we need to do repeatness. What? with a lot of joy, with a lot of happiness. And this is what we're doing.
Wow.
We're getting close to God also with the side of happiness. So it's not only for the Hebrew tradition. I think that people need to think in their countries, what are the things that bring them joy or happiness with the dancing, with the music, and not with drinking wine and getting drunks. Not those things. To be happy. There are things how to become happy by dancing, by singing folk songs, the songs of the special nation, and to do repeatness, to get close to God also with the side of the happiness, not only with the side of the sadness. And the global side of Sukkot is that the Sukkot, the Hebrew nation, this is the holiday that we are sacrificing in the temple, not only for the Hebrew nation, but for the all nations, for all of the nations we are sacrificing. It's written down very clear how we were doing it, and our intention in those days is that there will be peace in the world for all of us. And I'm saying things that we are praying and we are saying for more than 4,000 years. We are asking for peace for all of the universe, for all of the people around. We all know that when we will look in the Bible, in Yeshayahu, in the other prophets, so they are saying that at the end of the days there will be peace to all of the people in the world. But those are the days that we are praying for that. We are praying that all of us will have peace. More than that, there is a very interesting story in the Babylon Talmud, where at the end of the days, all of the nations who didn't do repeatedness and didn't get close to God, they're coming and they're asking from God, give us another chance how to come close to you. And God is giving them the chance, and he's asking them to build up a sukkah and to stay in the sukkah, because of the sukkah, this is exactly the thing that is showing that we are all equal. It doesn't matter who is going to sleep inside the sukkah. We are all sleeping under the stars. There is a say that my father-in-law is all the time, he likes to say that. He says, we are fighting with the Arabs, we are fighting, sometimes we need to fight against for ourselves with the Arabs or with the other nations, with Turkish and other nations. So he says, he likes to say that at the end of the days, we are all putting our clothing after the washing machine to dry them under the same sun. It doesn't matter if you're sitting down in Bogota, if you're sitting down in Vilnius, if you're sitting down in Canada, if you're sitting down in Israel. We have the same sun. And the same principle, when you're going inside to the sukkah, we're all going to sleep under the same stars. We are all in this world together. And therefore we need also to come to a peace together, to bring the peace of all of us together. So the Sukkot, if I will summarize, the Sukkot is starting with a personal level where we understand, each one of us can understand how much he is permanent in this world and he needs the help of God for everything that he's doing. It's going also to the level of the joy. And I did, a few weeks ago, I wrote down in my site few sentences also from the Bible, that the way to have a real joy and a real happiness is only through sharing your happiness with others, sitting and eating with others, sitting and singing with others. And this is something that is related to the nation, and each nation needs to do that. And the universe side is to bring peace to all of the world, and this is especially on this holiday. So we have also those three levels in the holiday of Sukkot. And this is mainly, we spoke about now 3 holidays, Rosh Hashanah last time, Yom Kippur this time, and Sukkot also. And the next time that we're going to meet each other, it will be after Sukkot, another 3 weeks. So this is more or less the main thing. And I think that I spoke a lot, enough. If you have any questions, this is the time. If you want to say something, this is the time.
Rabbi, that's a beautiful, beautiful statement. I really love how you brought the transition out from the time of Rosh Hashanah and the maybe a sense of nervousness or concern, and even at Yom Kippur, but then how that all transitions to joy during Sukkot.
Yes, this is it's true. This is one of the. If you will look at this, also if you will count days, you will see that from beginning of Rosh Hashanah until Yom Kippur, those are 10 days. And from the beginning, the day after Yom Kippur, till the day of the end of Sukkot, it's also another 10 days. And those are the 10 days of the fear side. Fear. It's very tense. It's very the side of, to be very stricted with yourself, to be careful with everything that you're doing, with everything that you're saying out of from your mouth, with everything that you're thinking, and every wish and will that you have. And the 10 days have a lot of joy and happiness and family and togetherness and dancing together and singing together. And those are the two ways that you're getting close to God. Because also, I will show you again, we have the Bible. Don't forget that we are learning the Bible, okay? So I'm going to show this also in no, not 5, 6. Sorry. I'm sorry, number 11. Let me find it exactly. Oh, I missed this one before. Sorry. In a moment, you will see the sentence. I'm struggling to find it. A moment.
Well, while you're looking, Rabbi, I want to ask anybody that's watching on YouTube, if you have any questions for the Rabbi, feel free to type one in and I'll see if I can get it to him.
In a moment, I will find it, the verse. It's a very important verse, so I want to hear this. Just a minute, I will find exactly where it is. I'm sorry that I'm an old-fashioned and I'm working with the books, and then I will put it also on the internet. I'm sorry that...
No need to apologize, Rabbi.
Oh, but this is how we're working. After all, we're learning it from the books. So, okay, I found it. Chapter 10 in Deuteronomy. Okay, Deuteronomy, chapter 10. And please, Dan, read verse number 12.
Just number 12, Rabbi?
Just number 12, yes.
And now, O Israel, what does the Lord your God demand of you? Only to fear the Lord your God, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to worship the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul.
Enough. This is enough. First of all, this is the most fundamental question. What does the Lord your God demands from you? And the main two answers that we have, from one side, is to fear the Lord. Those are the first 10 days of this month, from Rosh Hashanah till Yom Kippur. Okay? To walk in his ways. We spoke about this a lot. After you're starting to aim your wish, your will, like God, to do good things and everything, so then you're getting close to him. And to love him. The love side is the happiness, is the joy, is the togetherness that we have. Those are the two main things. By the way, also our body is working like that also. We have the sympathetic nerve and the parasympathetic nerves. Those two, the sympathetic nerves and the parasympathetic nerves, those two together, we all the time need to play with them. When we wake up in the morning, we jump from the bed because we remember a lot of things that we need to do this and this. But this jumping from the bed is a part of the fear, is a part of the parasympathetic thing that is working inside us. And we need from time to time also to relax a bit, because if you won't relax and you all the time will be in the tent of the fear, so you know what happened with someone is all the time fear and fear and fear, he will get madness. So the body is from time to time also relaxing, and then also again tenting, relaxing and tenting, and those two things also the 10 days and 10 days in the beginning of this year of the year, and this is the way that we are going inside this year in the right way. Yes. You took it out from me also.
I want to ask a question, Rabbi, about repentance, about tshuva.
Yes.
So tshuva is also translated as a coming back, so, if I'm correct, yes?
Exactly,
And,
yes.
So I have two questions, one about repentance and another question. So what's the best advice to do a better repentance, or how to come back to the Creator? What to do practically on these days, on the holy day, holiest of holies, as I understand, when Kohen Gadol came to Kodesh Kodashim.
We in the Hebrew nation on this day of the Yom Kippur, we taking a day of fast. We're not eating. Now, you can do a fast. It's not, it depends on you and what you want to do. It's not that you're supposed to do. We taking a fast and we praying all day in the shul. The main thing is what's written down here in verse number 12, okay? To do good things. To do good things, to do to others good things, to get connected with others, to decide that this day that you're doing good things to people who have difficulties with doing with getting things. For example, if it is to help, to assist someone else, if it is to give food to a homeless place, or to do good things, I think this is the best thing to do in those days as a beginning. Of course, also to declare, it's very important to declare, to say to yourself, I want to redirect my way and to do only good things to others, to myself, to others, to the world. And also to try to think if there are things in the last year that you did wrongly, this is the time to decide, now I'm doing it differently. Now I'm doing it in a good way. So those are the main three things that you can do. First of all, to sit down with yourself and to decide that you're doing good things, to declare that. Second thing, also, to sit down with yourself with a pencil and pen, to think a bit about the year and things that you did. What are the things that you did that you are regretting? What are the things that you did that are not good things to do, that you think that it was the wrong things to do? And to think with yourself the exact way how you're not going to do the same thing again. For example, a lot of times, I will give a very small example of something very, very simple, but very simple. For example, there is always the people who wants to go to the gym and to start to do a lot of activity. Exercise, but then they're going to work and they forgot to take the main clothing that they can go to the gym after that. And then they're coming back home and they're saying, oh, never mind, I'm tired, I came back home, I won't go out again and everything else. So you need to think how I'm going to remind myself to take the right clothes when I'm going to work, so I will start doing the gym. And the same thing, on the same level with everything else that you're doing. Okay, you need to decide not only to say to yourself, okay, I'm going to change my way. You can point on the finger and you can say, this and this I want to change. It won't change if you won't think how you're going to be the step before and to start to change it. And this is what you need to do in this day. And this day, you need to decide for yourself, those are the things that I'm going to change. Those are the good things that I'm going to take upon myself one step ahead. And to decide exactly how to do that. And also to say it, not only to write it down, to say it. And also to do good things for others. Those are the things that you mainly need to do in this Yom Kippurim. as a personal level. Okay. If you have a community, you can also gather together and to have some sort of a pray together. That is also related to this thing. I don't know exactly. Again, people, there are places where you have communities. You can also, by the way, gather together. You know, on Yom Kippur, I can't use the computer, but you can gather together, all of you, to do some sort of a meeting in a Zoom meeting without me. Okay. Also to broadcast this on the YouTube channel, because then I have all the keys and all the systems, and to have more people on the YouTube channel also, to invite them and to do a praying of Yom Kippur, some sort of a praying together, and to declare for yourself that that's something that you can do also on the internet, even though Rabbi Chaim won't be in part of this specific, but believe me, I will be very happy. It's okay. But those are things those are the main things that you need to do. But it's starting also with the first personal level, to sit down with yourself and to decide what are the things that you're going to change and how you're going to change it, to write it to yourself, to declare this, to say this, and to decide that you want to have a better will, a good will, to be connected with God. And this is a verse. You don't need more than this verse. This is the main verses, 12 and 13. This is the main verses. It's not easy.
Rabbi, I have another question about Yom Kippur. Yom Kippurim. Yes. How it is related to Purim? Purim and Yom Kippurim. I heard that this is related.
It is related, but it's another lesson. Let's leave this to Purim time. No, maybe next time I'll explain this a bit. It is related. It is related. There are a lot of things how to explain how it's related, and it's not by coincidence that it's the same name. Kippurim, Purim, it's almost the same name. Okay, Purim is the Purim spiel. It's a very, but it's another few. It's another few months, Purim, you know, after the winter in Israel. It is related. We'll explain this. Okay, I owe you one, Matas. I owe you one. Okay.
Rabbi, how and Noahide should celebrate Yom Kippur, at least on the minimum level?
I think things that I said before, to sit down with himself, to have, to do a big and deep wondering with himself. What is the way that he is taking from now? What are the things that he wants to take out or he's regretting and he wants to change? This is one level. The second level, to do, and also to not only to write it down and to think about those things, also to say them. Can do a gathering of praying. There are in the prayer book that we have of the Noachide, there are also some prayers that are related also to Yom Kippur. And also to do something good to others in your community. I'm sure that there are things, if you will start to look at everything, you will find that people need help with things, and you can maybe, or not maybe, you can find the way that you're doing good things to others. Those are the main three things I think to do in Yom Kippur as a Noachide.
What about fasting, not working?
Not working, I think it's recommended, but again, depends also how much you can do that. It also depends on your work and everything else. I don't think that it's something that I will say you can declare that as something for everybody, but you know, and then people will start to get a lot of problems with their work and jobs and everything else. So we need to be careful. We need to be sensitive with this thing. Fasting, it's the same thing. Okay, it depends on you. If you want also to fast, it's good. If you don't want to fast, it's also okay. You're not forced to fast. I'll tell you a secret. Don't say it to anybody. We're still on the internet, right? But don't say it to anybody else in this world except for you. There are more than one hint that it might be that this fasting that we have today, in previous years when we had the temple, it was only once every 50 years. And we did also celebrations of food and Tisha B'Av and Yom Kippur. So the fast is not for an Orchai. It's not the most important level. It's good if you want to take for yourself, for a few hours not to eat, and it's also helping you with your wandering and things like that. It's okay. It's very good. But to say that you must do that, or that we need to be careful. It's not something that you need to say to everybody else. In the Shulchan Aruch of Rabbi Sherki, we're also saying it, that you can do that, but it's not something that you must do, something like that. We need to be careful, We will find suddenly that all the world is fasting in Yom Kippurim. It will be very nice, But it won't happen. Don't be afraid. It won't happen. The Jewish nation will start to eat before everybody else will fast, so it's okay. No.
So don't do it ritualistically, folks. But if you're going to fast, if you're going to do something to Hashem, let it be a personal joy and connection between you and Him as a B'nai Noach. Don't feel you must. That's the last thing Rabbi Chaim's trying to say. But honoring Hashem in your heart and looking for ways to make the world a better place is truly where the connection is, and reviewing in yourself exactly what you can and should change. There are things in our lives that we can adjust to make this world a better place through us reflecting more positive in our communities. Now, Rabbi, we're at an hour and 7 minutes. I don't know how long you want to continue to go on. I don't have any online questions, even though I asked if they had. We've had a good turnout today, and I know we're not going to have a class for a few weeks, you're saying, because of Sukkot.
Exactly. Unfortunately, we won't have online until 3 weeks from now. And on the other side, there will be things that I will try to put on the internet. I'm not sure, because we don't really have a lot of time for that. So I'm sorry, I'm apologizing. On the email, I will try to answer, but I'm also have, it's very short times. See you on the other side of the holidays. It was great to seeing all of you, and I missed you. And 3 weeks from now, and hopefully we'll say, and regards also to Vaida.
Thank you.
When we start.
All right, folks, so we're gonna check out for now. So in 3 weeks we'll be back with another class, and until then, folks, be safe out there, and please continue to make the world a better place.